Welcome to the Scrapyard. I'm your host, BC.
Says Brim.
I'm reading a book.
And I'm Flaming Beast.
It's good. It's good read.
It's almost time. It's almost the end of the month. You're gonna live.
He has an excuse to hit me. I'm the weapon, remember? Or better yet, the minicon.
Anyways. Ink, I love you. But you motherfucker, this would not have happened. This would not have happened if you would have just... Anyways, what's up, guys? Here is tonight's topic. And for those who are wondering, this week's scrap battle is Blade versus Selene. If you don't know who Selene is, well, I hope you watch the Underworld movies, because that's basically who he's going up against. So, with that said, I hope you guys are going to enjoy tonight, because it's going to be a fun one for me. So, with all that said, let's go into the figure appreciations of the week. And as per usual, before we get into Beezus, because he's the one on the bottom corner, anybody who is in the comment section, if you want to engage with us, by all means, go ahead. Tell us what your figure appreciation of the week is. So with that said, get your ass up here.
My figure appreciation is Fans Hobbies, Meg Tyrano. I got him and Fans Hobbies Naval Commander last weekend. And oh my gosh. I love this. I love this a lot. I'm not sure if I'm going to track down, figure out what the hell kind of batteries this needs to power up, light up the eyes or this or whatever. At this point, at least for now, I don't care. But the transformation, it's not difficult. It's sophisticated, but satisfying. It's the best way I can describe it. Like, so many panels, flip and fold around neatly, around the legs, just everywhere. I'm impressed. I'm just wow, a third-party company makes a really damn good transformation. Who'd have thunk it? Hasbro and Takara.
Rabuko!
Alright. I, too, went towards Fans Hobby for my figure appreciation of the week, and that is Fans Hobby Flamebreaker. This is the American version of... What's the character's name?
This is the version of Cab they did, but since it's the American version's colors, it's Hosehead.
Okay. For a figure that turns to a decent fire truck, pretty damn good. Nice head sculpt, and you can see his stats in his chest.
Oh, nice.
For a figure that he added to his cart solely so he could get free shipping, it's not bad. There it is, monkey!
Anyway, for my figure appreciation of the week, I actually got mainly figure out of so far the four here, because that seems to be weird. That's weird theming at this point. Hot Shot.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, nice.
I like his car form. I'll admit, as the slight Armada purist on my end a little bit, just a slight bit. He does look way fucking skinnier in comparison to his old Armada version, but it's still got the look. You can still do the cannon, at least. So yeah,
Axel Bazooka.
Axel Bazooka.
Inks is Rise of the Beast mainline Optimus Prime. Such a great desk toy with loads of articulation that is on par with Studio Series, but unlike that, it actually has a truck mode that doesn't suck.
You know, as someone who owns both the Studio Series and mainline figures, yeah, I have to agree with you there.
Mhm.
Honestly, he's speaking facts with that. That mainline toy is something to behold. It's so good.
I mean, it doesn't-
Anyways, with that said, let me check and see if no, he did not. All right, I will go ahead and do mine now. Hi, how are you? So
Howdy.
my figure appreciation of the week. I have plenty of options at this point. I could do any one I want. But when I really, really stopped to think about it, there's one that I really just kind of threw into a drawer and kind of forgot he existed for a hot little minute entirely because there was one part of that 2-pack I wanted more. So let's go ahead and give some serious figure appreciation to Marvel Legends 90s Vulture.
He's a bird.
It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a dead-ass vulture who got turned into a man spider. Sorry, I spoiled a TV show that's 20 years old.
Get
30.
angry about it, X.
I just realized 30. Never mind. It's 30 now. Oh, God.
Wait, it was made in,
Old.
wait, it was made in 95.
It was made in 94.
Then that's 31.
Not yet. It turns 31 on its first episode's air date. So it's still 30. Ah.
Anyway.
I mean, I was 4 years old when that show came out.
Ah, shit, is Rob taking notes? Is that what's going on? Damn it, okay.
Yeah.
God, I'm old.
I can't see that pen just.
Anyways, making our perfect game. Now, this is something that I had been kind of thinking about for a long time because, let's face it, almost everybody here plays video games.
Damn proud.
Mm-hmm.
So, my question, meaning when it comes to making your perfect video game, what would be the parameters you would follow throughout the entirety of making your game? Like, what would be the genre you would decide to do it in? What would be the factions what the types of factions you would add? What kind of gameplay it would be? Would it be story driven or would it be player driven? So with that said, I feel like the ones that are going to dominate this subject matter a little harder is going to be Rabuko and Savage. So I think I'm going to go ahead and let Bees go first. I'm going to let Bees go first.
Gosh, like I'm not familiar enough with games to be able to say a whole lot, but what I can say is that like as I've played the Pokemon games the most often throughout the years. And one thing, the biggest glaring issue, at least for people like myself, is that one of the biggest gimmicks with Pokemon is trading, right? So like and some Pokemon can only evolve if you trade them. And what if you don't have any friends? What if you like I said, what if you don't have any friends, at least locally? And like I know you can trade like online with like random trainers or like around the world, or players around the world or whatever, but it's just a bit of a convoluted process to basically find a way to communicate with the other person that you're simply needing to trade Pokemon to complete your Pokedex or to evolve Pokemon. So, like, for me, I decided, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to buy two Nintendo DS consoles. I got a 3DS and a 2DS, and I had both accompanying Pokemon games that came out at the same time as each other, and I would trade Pokemon with myself, basically, to complete the Pokedex and to evolve Pokemon. Now, one thing that I think should be an option, not the only means of doing it, but at least one of two options to do this, like to evolve Pokemon that only evolve through trade, is okay. So Pokemon Legends Arceus, because that game is like it's like a prequel game, basically, and it takes place like 100 or 200 years prior to the events of Diamond and Pearl. One of the cool things that they did in that game was like, as far as I can tell, I don't think you can trade Pokemon with another Legends Arceus player.
Not really, no.
So, yeah, like there's some Pokemon that can only evolve through trade. And what they did was literally, okay, so some Pokemon evolve by, you know, exposing them to or leveling them up while holding an item. Which in this case, like, let's say you give Kadabra an item called the Link Cable, which is a very clever and ingenious throwback to the original methods of, you know, trading Pokemon, which literally reference the fact that Kadabra only evolves by trading. So you basically give it a Link Cable, and it evolves into Alakazam. I feel like that should start to be an option in the Pokemon games. I feel like Pokemon Legends Arceus did so much right. Now, like, there's some like aspects and themes, elements that carried over into Scarlet and Violet, but it's the Link Cable item that I thought was brilliant, and I feel like made like completing your Pokedex significantly less of a hassle. So that's honestly really the only thing I can think of that would make a game better. That and just making sure that it's not riddled with glitches or issues before releasing. Like, come on, Game Freak. Come on, Nintendo.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so who wants to go next if Bees is done?
I'm done.
Also, Ink wanted to remind everybody I only got 14 days. Anyways, eeny, meeny, miny, Roboco.
Oh boy, where do we begin? For me personally, I like the games that are story driven, but depending on the type of character you make, what kind of background, should ultimately also influence how the game unfolds. So games like Cyberpunk, where you can go all sorts of different routes, all choices impact the game, changing it. I also like games that are more puzzle driven. As time goes on, or the further you go into the game, the puzzles get more complex and new twists and turns. Man, gotta put more thought to this. Now I'm probably gonna get shot at for this, and I'm sorry in advance. I think the open world games like Skyrim, GTA, I think those kind of games kind of need to take a bit of a backseat.
I'm sorry, did he just say that?
Yeah, I did.
Hot take.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with him, but whatever. Go ahead, cook, my boy.
I just think open world games like that are just once you play like one or two of them,
We
it's
all
like
become the same.
nothing. It just feels the same thing over and over and over again. It's like do something different. Now, granted, there are some game series out there that do open world, but they change it enough to where it's still entertaining.
That was my doing. His game would have DLC where it would be him as a mini con, just saying.
As I was saying, JJ's thing caught me way off guard. I lost my train of thought. I think I'm done.
Choo choo.
Did Beast literally just sit there and do a choo choo sound?
He literally just sat there and did a choo choo.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Listen, Peter B. Parker, Hobo Peter, Spider Hobo.
Thank you.
Homeless spider.
Then again, we probably should chill. His baby will whoop our ass. Anyways, before the joke goes any further, Savage, go ahead.
I'll just flat out say it. I'll just flat out hit it right in the ballpark. I would create a video game that people would actually want. Like, for a great example, since we have a huge, giant love for Gundam in the Gundam community, and we love the old games of Dynasty Warriors and the Gundam Dynasty Warrior games. Gundam Breaker Empire 4, or whatever the fuck, go. Would be 4 would be the first one, but still. Like, we know they have the technology. We do have the technology. There's 5 games based on this kind of thing. Why can we not have a Dynasty Warriors Gundam Empires or some iteration of that? It's something we want, and it's something everyone desires to do. Make their own Gundam to rule all the Gundams. And since we're talking about Gundams here, if you want to be so specific, you can literally go into maybe option choice or whatever, and choose what enemy type or what type of infantry you want. Like, let's say, for instance, I'm playing the game. I'm like, okay, instead of GMs being my standard infantry of my entire fucking army, I'll have the Demon Army from Mobile Fighter Gundam or G Gundam. Or I'll have the Leos. I'll have the fucking Zaku's, Goofs, whatever. Point is, we would be able to do what we want. Like, it's there. We know you all have it. And we know you guys worked together before just fine. You made 4 Dynasty Warriors Gundam games, one being Japan exclusive. Come on!
Damn.
Everything is buffering on my end, so I can't see anything right now. Okay. But be able to customize, and of course it'll depend on which era it ends up on. obviously, since if it depends on this era, like let's say currently since we're on Witch for Mercury, I would give it. I would be lenient and say like, oh, this will probably require a lot of graphics increase because we're gonna be tossing in the aerial in there, so makes sense.
Damn.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, just give us Dynasty Warriors, Gundam Breakers, Empires, or some shit. That would be the most amazing game. I would never stop playing it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd be right there with you, Savage. 100%.
So I take it it's my turn?
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay. So BC's perfect video game. What would it be? So I would want it to be a game that ultimately, at the end of the day, requires nonstop teamwork. But it's not one of those games where it's like a looter shooter or something like that. It's actually a game that promotes you to invite your friends to play and have fun. Kind of like Helldivers in a way. Or Marvel Rivals. Or something of the sort. I don't know. Point is, I would be leaning into this teamwork idea. But there would also be separate factions where, say, you and your group, it's an entire group of friends that's all hanging out and they're all playing the game. But half that friend group is on one faction and the other friend group is in the other faction. That's how you build the game itself. Where one group picks one faction, the other picks the other, and they play through different modes where it's either capture the flag, domination, team deathmatch, things like that. Only I would have the gameplay be a lot like DMC 5. It would be super heavy on the hack and slash, and it would have weaponry akin to games like Metroid and Mega Man. And the only way to properly, quote-unquote, win the game if you're playing the multiplayer function is you have to essentially wipe out the entire enemy team. It is a bricks.
It is a bricks.
It is indeed a bricks.
Bricks is
We
like
need to do his toy pick of the week.
My toy pick of the week is on a figure that I still claim is one of the best deluxe class figures to date, and because he's kind of getting a semi-reissue that just got announced, thought I'd show it off. It is Siege Spinister.
Oh.
I absolutely love this deluxe class. He is still, in my opinion, one of the best deluxe class figures that came out of the War for Cybertron trilogy, and I'm glad that people are going to get a second chance to get at this guy.
Very nice. Alright, so the story mode, that's where the whole team-based gameplay also comes into play, because not only are you utilizing that faction idea in the multiplayer segment, you're also utilizing the same thing in the story mode, where the entirety of the story mode is based on which side you choose. And as the story progresses, you can, over time, make decisions to either stay on the side you chose, or B, make decisions as you go, where you start leaning towards the opposite side. like it would be a very heavily narrative-driven game.
So basically, the choices you make is how the story unravels.
Correct. I would put it in sci-fi fantasy, though. Like, that would probably be the setting I would put it in. Sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah, that kind of setting of a game and a narrative-driven game tends to work out the best.
So anyways, Briximus, what is your perfect game?
For me,
Yes, if you were to make your own perfect game, how would you do it? What would you make?
I've actually thought about this for a while. So the way I'm assuming we're talking about Transformers game, right?
No,
Any game.
Just a video game as a whole.
Video game as a whole. Well, I have a few ideas, but one of them is in the context of Transformers. Because again, I've had a long time to think about it, and we've had so little Transformers video games, and so that's kind of what I desire the most at this moment. But essentially, the game that I really want is, again, I'm using Transformers as the example for this. Basically, you have the game has 3 different modes. There's story mode, there's multiplayer, and then there's co-op. Story mode, self-explanatory. It's you playing as a single person campaign, but I also have always been a fan of multiplayer if you can have the option for playing campaigns with other people as well. So that would definitely be an option. And in the context of the Transformers game, basically you would make your own character, and that character would be taking place in some events happening throughout the story of the war going on. And so it's you progressing throughout the story with your character that you made. And then in multiplayer, you get to customize 3 individual characters, because you can choose 3 different classes of character to play as. There's the Brawler, there's the Seeker, and there's I can't remember the name I used, but it's like the Stealth Operative.
Infantry.
Well, Brawler is kind of more like the infantry, or I guess that would be more like tank. But yeah, essentially you have 3 different classes, and you can customize your character for each of those different classes. And so when you're playing in multiplayer, you could have, full squads of just everyone playing the same one, or like different types of ones. Everyone has a different role to play, so teamwork is kind of key. And then co-op is basically just, like local multiplayer type stuff, like where it's, you and a friend there in person sharing the same console playing at the same time. And like you can either do the campaign, you can do just maps and multiplayer tasks and missions where it's just you guys, or like, And finally, you can also play as, kind of similar to like Star Wars Battlefront, how they have like the hero system, how there's different heroes and characters to play. Obviously, I would rework it a little better so that everyone can actually get a chance to play certain characters, but essentially, you can have you can play different heroes like Optimus, Bumblebee, Grimlock, Hot Rod, Wheel. Like, you could add in a bunch of Autobots and Decepticons. Like, maybe even characters who are repaints of each other, you could give skins to them. So, like, for example, if Sideswipe was added as a character, then Red Alert and, like, Deep Cover would be one of some of those alternate skins to give him. Or you could have Sideswipe with a G2 skin on, where he's got the red head with the black torso and, like, all the bandoliers and weapons on him, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can alternate and change, like, skins and characters, and, like, basically, you take the toy logic of repaint and you add it to those characters. Like, on the Decepticon side, if you play as Starscream, if you have the skins, you could play as Thundercracker, you could play as Skywarp, you could play as Acid Storm, Nova Storm, Sunstorm, etc. Because then that way, the game developers are not having to pump out 10 different characters that all look like each other. Instead, you just have the one that you just give a different skin to. But yeah, that's essentially the game idea. And of course, there would be at least some sort of game mode that operates kind of like Marvel Rivals and kind of like Overwatch, where you have just heroes versus heroes and you have an objective to get done. And essentially, that's what that would be. Which could be its own game in itself, but I'd rather have it as just an individual game mode, because then you have options of what you actually want to play. Yeah, aside from that, the only other thing I would add is I would not have a pay-to-win system in it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, pay to win is stupid.
That's pretty much it.
All right. I think that's it. We're basically done.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And those two in the comment section, what would be your perfect game?
Yeah. Comment section, what would be your perfect game?
Plus, also, the other game I would consider to be my perfect game is already exists. So
True.
it's called called Tetris.
What?
Called Tetris? The fuck?
Yeah. the perfect game in my mind is Tetris.
The cojones on you.
What? That's a genuine answer. You can't give me crap for that.
No. You see, the perfect game is Monopoly.
Huh?
I'm.
I've been BC.
Oh god, we're leaving.
I feel like a fight's about to happen, so I've been flaming bees.
It's still
I
January.
don't see anything being thrown yet, so I think I'm safe.
Who said
Yeah.
BC had to be the one fighting?
Get him, Savage.
Dance, monkey. I'm just kidding.
I can dance. You can't do shit.
Timing!
Robuko, I hope you're keeping track of this.
Keep track of what? We haven't done anything to you. What?
I did I say specifically for you? That's what I thought. Anyways, so now we're on to the official middle section that never seems to have anything planned.
Worst video game you've played.
Savage.
I had my hand up. Actually, I was going to take this opportunity to go ahead and do something that we haven't done in like a while to at all for this entire channel. If you have been enjoying this episode of Scrapyard, make sure you please click down to VC's little subscribe button and subscribe there. And if you want to catch up with more and you want to talk to us directly more on stuff like this, whether it be this coming Scrap Battle, next coming Scrap Battle, past Scrap Battle, whatever, I would like to invite you all to come join us in our Discord server. Yes, we do have a Discord server. It's not as advertised as much because I'm not here. So, if you wish to partake in that, there will be a link in the description down below for you to check out later, because I have not given that link yet. So just give it a moment. And if you don't see it in the description, it'll probably be down there in the comment section after this live show is done. So we would love to see you there. We would love to hear from you there. Yeah.
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 So yes, we do have a Discord server. If you wish to join, by all means, do so. With that said, the worst video games we've ever played, right? Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of those around.
BC, what's your favorite video game?
My favorite?
Oh, no.
No, you
Bad
even.
bricks. Bad.
No, you even.
I'm just kidding.
Bad. No.
Oh, Astrobot? That's the worst game ever made. Screw that.
Game of the year.
I am going to enjoy February.
No, you won't.
I am going
Yes,
to
he will.
enjoy February.
No, you won't.
Because I'm specifically coming for you.
No, you won't. Nah, I'd win.
Why is it that the Spider-Man that's supposed to help protect the citizens keeps running away?
Yeah. Hey, you the one reacting here.
Spider-Man.
He's too busy eating corn dogs and
You
cheese fries.
In the trash can.
I'm not. I'm getting myself back into shape. On that note, let me go find. I think I still have some gelato left.
Yeah, he's definitely getting in shape. Round is a shape.
I called it. Bricks was going to take full advantage of the fact that I cannot put hands on him.
Darn, I can't find it easily. I'm sure it's in there somewhere.
That would hit me.
I assure you, I got a strict training regimen.
Hit me. Bam. Do it again.
They're not being marketed, he's asking for it.
No. Yeah, no. He's asking for it.
One more time. Wait. Savage, not that hard.
Oh,
Quick, somebody poke him with a stick.
I guess something we could add to the random middle section is, I guess we'll do Transformers Fun Fact. Fun Fact Friday. I don't know.
Inktastic, yeah, we'll be sending it in the comment section at the end of the stream.
So,
BC's coming back from the dead trying to say something. Poke.
Yeah.
BC, you dead?
Yup.
Anyway, so worst video game ever. Got it.
Pong Survivor Instinct.
What was it?
Pong Survivor Instinct. That is the worst game I have ever fucking played. Like, I wish I was joking on just how bad that game is.
oh, are you talking about the King Kong one that has like the PNG of a velociraptor in it?
Basically.
Yeah, that one's kind of poo-poo shite.
Poo-poo shite.
Poo-poo
I got
shite.
one better. Or worse. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. You suck.
More like Suicide Squad, you killed your own game.
I got one that'll do yours even worse. Anthem.
God damn.
Peace.
I,
You move.
just in time.
Ugh.
You empty?
Too late.
Fucker!
Oops.
Bees' ceiling starts dripping stuff.
I'm gonna go change now.
That would
I
help.
think he needs a hand.
That would help. Yeah. Thank you. Poor bees.
Well, yeah, you barked on him. Nice.
Well, you mentioned something truly terrible, so.
Well,
You guys just want me to mention
yeah.
the game?
Oh God. Now what?
Well, I actually have 2 games. League of Legends.
See, I would actually agree with that.
And then the other one is Concord. Your game was so bad it didn't even come out. Congratulations. Here's a high five. Actually, you guys don't get the high five. You get a sideways thumb. Not even a thumbs up either.
No. Concord can have this. Bye.
I'm surprised none of y'all said Dark Sparks.
Rise of the Darkspark?
Yeah.
Hello. Hi.
Squeeze Play says hi.
Okay.
I'm also saying hi.
Ink was waiting for Darkspark to be said.
Darkspark is not the worst game. There are worse games than Darkspark. Like King Kong.
Like Kong Survivor Instinct. That is
Yeah.
that is your dog shit.
Or here's another one, Gollum.
I hear that's pretty bad.
Oh God.
Gollum
I've heard
is
that was terrible,
on
yeah.
par with King Kong.
Like, I don't know why they're so afraid to just do another Godzilla brawler. Like, bro, those
The
games
King
are all
Kong game is the game was like the game they put it out like a and like sold it like it was a fully finished game when the game was literally like not even in a beta state yet. It was like before that. It was like alpha 0.01 like stage. Gollum was in like about a beta. It was like a beta test game that they put out. It's like freaking ridiculous how companies are just like, put it out there.
Bees, you good?
I'm scrubbing vomit off.
He's committed to the bit.
He's committing a little too hard.
He is very committed.
Look at you.
You wonder who else is very committed? My mom.
Savage, you be so kind. Thank you.
Oh.
Ink, what are you doing?
Just waiting on you, bees.
Okay, unfortunately, my suit has to be in the wash. Thanks, BC.
Way to go, Josh.
But at least you now have an excuse to get it cleaned.
Hopefully the vomit stains will be easier to come out than blood stains.
Way to go, BC.
Oh wow, you actually took me to the bit.
It's committed to the bit.
Is he really gonna go change?
Bricks, what the hell was that voice you did?
It's Muscle Man, bro.
Regular show? Okay. Anyway, what did you say? What did you say, BC?
I was literally sitting here like, is he really committing to the bit right now?
To be fair, I wanted to use that as an excuse to change because, yeah, like it's the gloves. While they are fairly like touchscreen friendly, gosh, I've been wanting to like finish putting this together, but like there's so many pointy bits. I was like literally like starting to poke holes, actual holes in the fingers. I'm like, yeah, I don't want that to happen. But anyway, honestly, I've not played enough video games to have a definite answers to what the worst video game I've ever played was. Now, the one game I can say that I enjoyed the least playing was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Really?
Yeah, no, we're moving on. Nope. He's gonna start a war in the comment section. Nope, we're moving on.
Colors weave into a spiral. Sorry.
I don't know if it's like if there's just technical issues on my end, but like I remember I was like doing multiplayer with Dreamer Girl, and she whooped my ass every single time purely because on my end it was lagging hard fucking core. I couldn't even do anything, couldn't land a hit on her character whatsoever. So I'm just like, you know what? I feel like this is gonna be too aggravating, so I'm gonna return this.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say.
Yeah. Then okay, finish what you're gonna say.
I said that's literally all I was gonna say.
Oh, so yeah, that was not the game lagging. That was literally her beating your ass. That's what that was.
No, I'm being serious. I'm not being a sore loser. I mean,
no. I know.
Yes, it is. But everything was like on my end. I couldn't even land a fucking hit. I couldn't tell what the hell I was even doing.
The game is gonna do that.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Okay. Let's not.
It's literally a case of if you are getting your ass handed to you, you have no control over what you're doing. Like, dude, that's how hard she was beating your ass.
And even then, like I said, it was lagging on my end so damn bad, I couldn't even move my character.
That's
fantastic.
Okay, so hey, Rabuko, refrain from the fetal position for just a couple seconds. Every time you play SoCal 6 with me, or Soul Calibur with me in general, does the game ever lag when I'm whooping your ass?
To be fair, it's also based on other people's internet connections, so
My
That is
internet
true.
is not working. My Wi-Fi router is actually on fire right now.
I think it's a skill issue.
Savage, please. Thank you. Anyways, we're gonna move on from there.
I'm gonna get brain damage from being on this show.
I already have brain damage. It's by listening to all of you.
Anyways, let's move on. So
Now we're moving on
please.
to the 2.5 segment of the show, story time.
Once there was an ugly barnacle. This barnacle was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
That didn't help at all.
Okay, now moving on to segment 3.
which is Scrap Battle. Blade versus Celine. So, yeah, Blade versus Celine. And as per usual, we are going to do this the same way we always do. Endurance, speed, strength, armor, weapons, battle intelligence, battle verdicts. So let's start with endurance. Now, before we fully get started, let's do a quick head count. Who in this group has seen Underworld?
Years ago, so I'm not gonna remember shit. So
I've seen only bits and pieces of 2 of the movies.
Have you seen enough to know why they're basically a perfect match?
they're both hunters, basically, right?
They're both death dealers. They're both daywalkers. They both have very specific skill sets. They both have ridiculous powers. Provided you don't count the 5th Underworld movie.
Gelato.
Oh, you found it.
Oh, endurance. Let's go ahead and start with Celine. Celine, we witness her in every single movie. We see her literally get thrown through solid brick walls on a consistent basis. There are even a couple times where she's thrown through metal door. And she walks away perfectly fine. This is mainly because it's meant to be movie magic. You could argue that. But for the sake of this, we're going to count it as a feat of endurance. Because she's literally getting thrown through physical objects that under normal circumstances would kill a normal human being.
Ah, so we're counting on-screen feats. I'm just kidding. We're done with that. I'm just kidding. We're done with that. We're done with that.
I cannot wait for February. Oops, cannot wait for February.
I guess he likes pain.
like pain?
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always in pain.
You like pain? How about wearing a corset?
I'm guessing since you're always in pain and seem to love pain, is your floor covered in Lego pieces?
Too many questions. Moving on.
Moving on. Too much TMI.
Too many questions. Moving on. We're moving on. Continue with the scrap battle.
Anyways, so that would be. She also went toe to toe against a lichen, like an actual supersized lichen, where he was like 10 feet tall in his full bestial form. And this thing hits like a freight train, and she took every hit like a champ. Take that and compare it to Blade, where everything we ever see him doing, including in the comic books, Oryx, we have witnessed Blade throw down with the likes of Spider-Man, Captain America, the Hulk, and he has taken on quite a few characters who are significantly stronger than he is. And he's more than able to hold his own. But here's the big difference between him and Celine. If he gets smacked by the Hulk, he's out for a little while. If Celine gets smacked by the Hulk, she'll get right back up and come right back at him. So, my vote for this is going to go to Celine. Strength, on the other hand, yeah, there's no contest. That's going to Blade. Because Blade in every iteration we ever see of him, he's known as the Daywalker, where he has all of the powers of the vampires and none of their weaknesses.
Except for the thirst for blood, which would that be considered a weakness or no?
He does actually still suffer from the thirst for blood. Well, it depends. It depends on what blade we're talking about at that point.
Also, this is kind of bleeding into like weapons and armament. See what I did there? Bleeding in. Anyway,
I caught that immediately.
He also technically Blade also has the strength to so with his sword he has the strength to utilize the sword to be able to cut through even some of the strongest of. You have to have a lot of arm strength to slash a blade like that.
Yes, if for those who remember in the scrap battle for Bayverse Drift versus Prime Wheeljack, I specified that because for that I specifically stated for a strength feat I gave it to Drift because with the amount of actual physical force he would have to swing the sword to completely chop off a fool's head, that was the amount of force needed for that is incredible. So yes, I'm backing Bricks up with that.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense going that way to give it to Blade.
Speed, I will also give to Blade.
Because, he's a fucking vampire.
Celine is as well, though. But unlike Blade, she's more of a vampire from a different point of view. So whereas a lot of Blade's powers and abilities were taken from traditional vampires. So with that stated, we're going to give endurance, Celine, speed and strength, Blade. So now we're moving on to, funny enough, armor and weapons. Armor and weapons. So if we're talking strictly just armor, I would be giving it to Blade. But if we're talking everything as a whole, it's a tie. And the reason why I say it's a tie, they both have pistols, they both have swords, they both have little flowing blades, they both have UV-based weaponry. Like the loadout that both characters have access to is very similar to each other. So therefore, everything that happens within the arsenal, Blade has a counter for. So therefore, that is why I'm saying when it comes to armor or weapons, I am giving it a tie. If I were to give an edge, I would lean a little further towards Blade. Now, the next up, and this is one where I'm definitely going to have to rely on you guys quite a bit because I'm going to be completely honest. I'm torn with this, that being battle intelligence. So, battle intelligence. We know for a fact Blade is heavily trained to take down and kill vampires. But we also know that when it comes to facing off against anything that isn't a vampire, he does okay. I mean, let's face it, he's had the hands put on him by Miles. Now, granted, you could technically say Blade wasn't himself in that moment. You could argue that, but in that same breath, he still got his ass handed to him by Miles Morales. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying he got his ass beat by a kid.
It is something that happened.
Whereas Celine, any of the ass whoopings she takes is entirely because she was taken by surprise. when she is actually facing off against somebody, when she is able to actually take them on a more equal footing, 9 times out of 10, she will come out on top. So, Celine, part of me wants to say Celine would take battle intelligence, and it's entirely because so unfortunately I'm going to have to spoil a movie you guys probably haven't seen. So if you got an issue with that, this is your chance to kind of skedaddle on out.
What movie are you spoiling?
The fourth one, I want to. Oh god, Underworld Awakening. It's Underworld Evolution, Underworld Rise of the Lycans.
Well, I would like a proper opportunity to watch those movies, so I will turn down my volume and someone signal me whenever the spoilers are done.
The signal will just probably be us like
Vol-
waving or something like
volume's
that.
off.
Okay.
Like signal me like in the chat.
Okay. So the reason why I'm saying battle intelligence wise, Celine, I feel would take it is the way she killed the overly massive Lycan in the fourth film. The one, the super one. You know what I want?
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, because when she noticed, huh?
I said, I don't.
Basically, she noticed that even though he does have a healing factor, if you cut a wound deep enough, it takes him a minute to fully heal it up. So when she realized that during one of her encounters with him before he knocked her clean the fuck out, she kept that nugget in the back of her head so that when she was basically cornered by him, she cut his ass open and she fucking stuck a silver grenade into his stomach. So, and when this big ass motherfucker, overly confident, turns around, looks at her and goes, "I heal instantly." She's like, "I was counting on that," and she throws the fucking pin at him. So at that point, the grenade explodes and it starts shutting down all his systems as he basically, literally burned from the inside out. So yeah, that's basically that is the main reason why I want to give it to Celine, but I will listen to anybody who would say otherwise. Signal Bees is safe.
I mean, to be fair, there are some things that Blade has been able to handle that other heroes with a higher amount of durability have also been able to handle higher than he could. Like, for example, he was able to, for a time, Blade had the Spirit of Vengeance put in his body, and how painful of a process that is, that not even, some other Marvel characters aren't able to handle it, especially those without healing factor.
That is true, but are these things he plans for, or are these things that he just kind of has to do?
Things he just kind of has to do. Like, because to be fair, getting the Spirit of Vengeance put in your body is like having probably 10 grenades put in your chest.
Okay, I was about to say, would it feel like getting doused in pepper spray? But yeah, I think the grenades definitely sound like it'd be a lot more painful. It sounds like it would make a lot more sense. And yes, I am speaking from experience with the pepper spray thing.
Okay.
Bean has a question.
Yeah.
Yes, Bean?
Bean.
Can I have a Spirit of Vengeance?
No!
You already have a Spirit of Vengeance.
I'm going to be the a-hole and say yes.
And JJ like he's the favorite uncle.
Anyway,
All right, so yeah. Anyways, go on.
For battle intelligence, I don't know because I think unless we're also counting the recent Deadpool and Wolverine movie, Blade, like he does, obviously he's expert at killing vampires left and right, and at the same time he can also beat a normal person's ass just fine, like an average day street thug if needed to, but.
Yeah, but if you notice, if it was other people with very specific powers and abilities, he struggled a little more.
I was gonna get there. I was gonna say people he's going up against Spider-Man, Captain America, or let's go into the more darker deep end since he deserves it. Mephisto.
Did he actually face off against Mephisto?
Yes, he had.
More than likely, yeah, because evil demon of fire. Yeah, let's do something about that.
Like, who won in that fight, BC?
Well, granted, he was also teaming up with Wolverine and Ghost Rider.
So technically, he wasn't fighting him on his own.
Well, he was fighting him on his own, but he didn't have to deal with because technically in that moment he would have also had to deal with Mephisto's minions, but Ghost Rider and Wolverine were dealing with all of Mephisto's minions in that same moment. So
you also have to remind ourselves that he also fought against possibly Ghost Rider's own enemies, like the Plague Heart, I think his name was, where he Blackheart, yeah, where he touches stuff and he just dissolves in decay and plague and famine and whatnot.
That's Blackout.
Okay, that one then.
Blackheart. His name is Blackheart.
Blackheart.
I thought Blackout and Blackheart were two different characters.
No, Blackheart is Marvel Comics. Blackout is Transformers.
Then did they make up that villain from the Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance movie? I thought he was in the comics.
Blackout was just a name they reused because I think they lost the copyright for Blackheart. Because technically the villain in the Ghost Rider movie was made up.
Blackout is a supervillain appearing in American comic books.
No, actually, Blackout is an actual thing still in the Marvel thing.
Just fucking when was this?
He's depicted as a half-demon and is the second character to use the name as an arcane blessing which bestows vampiric powers? Okay, so abilities are super strength, speed, psionic ability to extinguish light in his vicinity. Oh, okay, I guess he doesn't have the ability to decay things like he did in the movie. Okay, that's weird. But yeah, he is. So yeah, he actually is in the comics.
Anyways, if everybody else has any other stances, by all means, go for the sake of battle intelligence.
I'm
anyway,
I'm actually looking into the Marvel Encyclopedia right now.
Anyway, my point what I was trying to get at with that was that, Blade's also going against characters that, have the power to literally destroy his equipment on touch, is what I was trying to get at. So, even then, Blade will then have to try to figure out, a great way to counteract that, because, oh no, my hand-destroying sword just got melted by a guy with acid touch or whatever the fuck.
He has to be able to think on the fly.
Yeah.
Which he has definitely proven he can more than do that.
He can prove he can do that, but he sometimes struggles. Even more so now that I guess we can literally say this, with age, he tends to struggle a little bit.
Okay, so I have a full list of some of the powers, abilities, and just some other feats that he's done.
Also, just ask, how old is that encyclopedia? Is it still more within the canon, or is there some shit in there that's like?
From this is like 2023.
Okay, still
yeah, that's fairly up.
that's fairly still relevant. Okay, continue.
Immune to vampire bites and vampiric hypnosis, enhanced strength, speed, senses, and healing. Immune to vampires' susceptibility to sunlight. Carries arsenal of anti-vampire weapons such as guns fire garlic-filled silver bullets, and then his actual trademark sword is made out of titanium, and then he is a martial arts expert. And then it also states here that one time after losing his left hand, Blade had a prosthetic. He had a prosthetic arm made out of a gun.
That sounds excessive, but dope.
Okay.
And then it mentions he's a day walker, hunts vampires and such. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in terms of his battle equipment, he could probably use a lot more, I guess, actually.
Well, like I said, though, Celine basically does have the type of weaponry she would need to counter him as well. Because she's a death dealer. And like I also previously stated, most of his body count is vampires. He is more excelled in fighting vampires than he is anything else. I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying when it comes to his overall skill set, he's at his most effective against vampires. Whereas Celine, it don't matter what it is. If it's on her list, she's hunting it, she's killing it.
I'm gonna say, for sake of battle intelligence, because at this point, I'm only just really knowing. I only know really Blade because I have like zero history with Underworld at all, so I got nothing to really say for Celine because I don't know Celine. So, for the sake of trying to not be biased in this thing, I'm gonna say, on my point of view, just type so that way it's fair.
No, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Then how about this? We will make it, for the sake of making everything fair, I'm going to give it a tie. Is anybody going to argue this with me, or is everybody in agreement?
Sorry, I was ignoring the question. What was it?
I'm going to go ahead and make battle intelligence a tie.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
Sounds fair.
I got nothing.
All right. So then let's go ahead and move on to final verdict. Briggs, final verdict. Who do you think is going to win?
I would give it to Blade, but only by the very slightest of margins. Only reason I say that is because Blade has technically been doing his vampire thing for a lot longer.
So you're basically utilizing his age to his advantage.
Experience, yes.
Age and experience, yes. Okay. Bees.
I'm gonna say a tie purely because
You wish to remain entirely unbiased.
yeah.
Okay. Rabuko!
I'm gonna go with Celine on this one. to counter what Brick said, experience. How long has Celine been a vampire for? If you've seen the movies,
He's been a vampire, if memory serves me right, since the 1800s. 1800s?
somewhere back there.
Yeah, so technically speaking, she has been a vampire for much longer than him.
But how long has she? But how many times has she been in combat in that time?
Yes. Like, we would literally have to turn on the entire movie just to give you an idea on how much of a non-joke she is.
I'll tell you now though, like just to say as a surprise because I didn't know. I knew Underworld was a major hit movie. I did not know there were 6 movies. So
5.
no, there's 6. Underworld, Evolution, Rise of the
Lycan.
Endless War, Awakening, Blood Wars.
Endless War.
Or is that the anime? What is this?
Okay, if it's an animated feature, then it's probably something that doesn't count towards the war.
Okay, yeah, it's an anime.
So then, yes, there's only 5 films.
Okay, well,
But yeah, Awakening was the one I was thinking of when I brought up that one feat that I cannot repeat because Bees wants to watch it.
fair.
So, anyways, Savage.
Remaining fair and unbiased. Did you hear me?
No, I didn't.
He said tie.
I said tie because I'm wanting to remain,
Okay.
unbiased.
So then
because-
from here on out, whenever any of us genuinely can't choose, simply just straight up say, I'm remaining unbiased, tie. Especially if it's characters you don't really know anything about. I really need to stop doing that. That said, final verdict. Am I giving y'all a story tonight, or am I simply just going to cut to the chase?
Story.
I think this one, we're probably better off without a story this time.
Probably
skip
not.
story. I skipped the story last week. I'm going to give the audience the story this week. Because I'm pretty sure everybody was really looking forward to it last week, and I simply just didn't have it in me. So, here we go. Final verdict. Blade versus Celine. Comment section. Who do you think is going to win? Because it clearly says 3 people are still watching, so I'm going to say Ink and Daniel are still here. You guys, who do you think is going to win while I do this? I mean, hey, if you also want to play dead, go ahead. I'm clearly stalling. Anyways, here we go. Setting is at night. Blade is on the hunt. He got word of another vampire entering New York, but this one is different. Always clad in leather. Blade is my vote. Blade tracks this mystery vampire down, only to see she just got done tearing through an entire place that was filled with other vampires. He finds this strange, He finds the strength. Okay, then Christopher Sickler. Blade versus Celine. Who do you think's winning? Blade shows up, sees what she's done. He turns around and can tell he's a vampire as well. Naturally, she pulls her pistols out, has them aimed right at him. In the same breath, he pulls hers out. He pulls his out, points them right at her. And this is what officially locks them into combat. His rounds pack a lot more punch. So, as he's firing at her, she's realizing this, realizes, oh shit, I gotta be able to control the field. So she points her guns down, shoots down at the floor in a circle. Hey, Rob. And as soon as she's done, Blade draws the sword and leaps at her. But right before the sword could connect, she drops to the floor. He looks through the hole and sees her bolting. And he's like, "What the? Did this bitch just ice skate? Did this bitch just ice skate uphill? The fuck?" So he jumps down and he goes after her, clearly showing he is significantly faster than her. Realizing she has to time this right. Attempting to utilize the shadows to her advantage. Little does she know, that's where Blade is at his best. So, once they're in the shadows, all we hear is a bunch of bullets going off. Gunshot. Some growls, some hissing. Couple times but at some point you can even hear one of them get bit. The lights come on and they're both covered from head to toe in blood. Blade's looking at her and she's healing up super quick. But so is he. They're both realizing if I'm gonna win this, I have to get one solid hit. So now they start throwing hands. And Celine is definitely holding her own, but Blade is significantly stronger than her. So eventually he throws her across the way into a parking garage where she slams through a van. He leaps into the garage. But for whatever reason, he just can't seem to place where she's at. He starts sniffing, trying to catch her scent, utilizing his own vampiric abilities to track her down, but for whatever reason, he just cannot find her. He knows she's not dead. He knows this isn't over. He's somewhere. He just needs to find her. Then she tackles him from behind and takes his sword. He swings that bitch as hard as she can, only to realize he caught her arm. Slams her up against the wall, causing her to drop his sword, which he then kicks it by the blade to fling it up around in the air and catch it in the air. Spins that bitch around and he stabs her right through the stomach. He looks right at her and he goes, "So, you want to keep playing with me?" He simply cracked a smile, and In her one hand that she had cupped, he opens it up and reveals a grenade pin. The grenade explodes. And Blade drops. Celine wins.
We
So yeah, sorry for those who thought Blade was going to win that.
Darn.
You know, it's not that Blade like withstood against like cosmic level beings or anything. Yeah, we're just
Right, he didn't.
That.
Like, Brooks, are you wanting to die?
Ask me in 5 minutes.
No. Ask him in February. Anyways,
I'll be dead before then.
Anyways, so yeah, there we go. That's yet another scrap battle in the books. So let's go ahead and go into the after party. And while you guys go ahead and talk amongst yourselves for a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and do the next topic as well as what the next scrap battle would be.
All right. While he's putting all that together, oh, here's something I can pretty sure I can draw attention to because it's extremely the current hot controversial topic. I don't. This is more towards the audience more than anything else. I'm sure we all heard about it. The Switch 2. How many of y'all are going to be planning on getting it? Let us know.
Maybe not immediately, but I'll probably most likely get one at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the same thing as Bricks. I'll get it eventually. I'm not gonna be in a rush to get it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Considering this is supposed to be Nintendo's next... This is supposed to be the next gen console, right? The newest next gen?
Yep.
Not like this is just the Switch, but now it's 2DS version or whatever the fuck. It's supposed to be the second...
A brand new
next gen.
system, yes.
Yeah.
Technically, that's what the OLED Switch was.
Yeah, that's what the OLED was. The
OLED Switch was like the Wii U
revision model or whatever. Revised model or however else you want to interpret that. But it'll be interesting. So far, the only thing that I've seen at Nintendo also teased on that same trailer is that Mario Kart 9 finally,
or 10 or whatever we want to call it.
50.
and the fact that it's going to say, "Oh, we're going to have a 24 player count of racers in this one," it's like, ooh, that's going to be interesting to see. 24 players.
That's a lot of blue shells.
No, I'd win.
Who said we'd invite you?
Yeah, who said you're joining?
Wow. Emotional damage.
No, not really.
So far, the only things they've confirmed about the Switch 2 is you can play Switch 2 and regular Switch games on it.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
You just obviously can't put Switch 2 games on
Mm-hmm.
the normal
Switch, yeah.
They said the only Switch games you cannot play on the Switch 2 is basically like anything that requires external hardware or like certain controls. Like the exercise thing they did where you had the ring.
Oh, the Ring Fit thing, yeah.
Yeah, like you can't play that on the Switch 2 because it requires that ring thing, and the ring doesn't work with the Switch 2.
Yeah.
I guarantee you Switch 2 is going to come up with their own version of it.
Yeah, probably. Bring back Wii Fit Trainer.
Oh god.
That's if we even get a new Smash Bros.
No, I'm not talking about Smash Bros. I mean like the actual
Oh, okay.
like exercise thing that she's from.
So you're actually saying you want Wii Fit but on the Switch, so Switch Fit.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, Wii Fit was better than the Ring thing on the Switch.
So, anyways, yeah, I'm pretty sure people are going to be mad at me over who won.
Going to be, they are mad at you.
Well, I mean, we know you are, but
I wasn't talking about me specifically. What are you talking about?
yeah, you're
So,
total.
Savage, it's funny that earlier that you mentioned Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
I have digitally the new game that came out.
Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. I was wondering when that was gonna get out, so I
Came out like maybe within the last couple of days.
nice.
So, what's everybody messing with?
I am messing with my Legacy Evolution Bludgeon.
I'm building my Yellow Park The Last Night Optimus Prime. Basically, it looks like Optimus Prime right when he starts his membership at Gold's Gym.
Oh god.
Look at this! Look at this! Like the endoskeleton is like looks like that skinny kid that everyone laughs at the gym. Like, hey, look at that loser! Look at him trying to look strong. And then, like a year later, he comes back looking like this.
I'm messing with this.
Ooh,
McDonald's toy.
you're a McDonald's toy.
You're a McDonald's homeless person. I don't want to hear it.
I'm not in the
I'm
sewer.
currently looking at a box for our boss monkey that I have. Do I
Okay,
dare show it?
Yeah, fucking go ahead.
Look what I got our boss monkey.
Oh,
I got him the 4-pack with Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, and Tails, which is supposed to arrive today, but I don't know what the heck UPS is doing.
the more you talk, the more I want to hurt you.
So I guess BC, you'll get that figure set eventually.
And since this is their super
Wait.
forms,
Wait. Is it delivering to you?
Yeah, to me.
Okay, I
Guys-
was about to say, hang on a sec. Wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, I figured since I have a couple other things here, like set aside for you, I might as well ship it all together, you know?
I mean, fair.
and since these are their super forms, these light up. And my phone just fell.
And we just fell. Oh god.
Oh no.
Hello.
I'm super happy, super excited.
Only cost me about $30.
How much is one figure at retail?
Like 15?
15 to 20,
well-
somewhere around there.
Then yeah, no, that lines up. That makes sense.
Yeah, most of the Jax specific their Sonic the Hedgehog figures and some of their Mario and other ones, they're all usually about 10 to 15, sometimes 20.
Depending on the character.
Depending on character or the store. Like if you go to Walmart, most of them are 15, but sometimes Target has them for like 15 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
Or like GameStop usually has them for 20. Well, anyway, there was Bludgeon.
Nice.
I modded my bludgeon so that it only looks like it has the one barrel on it instead of the double barrel like on Tarn, because that way bludgeon and Tarn have like different alt modes from one another. You know what I mean?
I still can't believe B's actually committed to the bit.
He actually went and changed his clothes.
That was hilarious.
You know what was also hilarious? Me leaving.
Okay, so good riddance anyways.
I committed
Well, anyways,
I committed to the bit purely because I was looking for an excuse to change. I was gonna do the whole stream with it with the costume on, but I was like, yeah, it's not 100% tactile friendly. So
It's a midget wing, therefore it is Rob's accurate size for a Gundam.
Jesus Christ.
Rob has earned the right to punch you at that point.
Oh yeah, let's sell tickets.
nah. But no, this is actually pretty. I've been definitely getting into this line. Now, I'm trying to remember if they announced what's next after this guy.
They did not. I still have a priority.
I mean, it's probably a Gundam.
86 Commander Class Optimus Prime when the opportunity is up. That is exactly what it is, Christopher.
Backwards.
By the way, I got one of my coworkers at work. I got him into Transformers.
Oh God, bless America.
Normally, he's normally a Marvel Legends and like Ninja Turtles and a couple other things, but like that's usually what he collects most of the time. But I convinced him to buy the Transformers Party Wallop. Since he's a Ninja Turtle fan, and he ended up really liking it. And then after he got Party Wallop, he was like, you know what? Maybe I'll also get maybe I'll get an Optimus and a Megatron. And then he asked me what are some good Optimus Primes and Megatrons. I showed him, and then he ended up buying an Optimus. He's still waiting on a Megatron. And then after buying the Optimus, he then started, as he was toy hunting for Ninja Turtles, he came across the 86B, and he decided to buy that to go with the Optimus.
Wait, which Optimus did you say you got?
He got the Earthrise one because he can't afford the 86 one.
Yeah.
Fair.
I told him his two options were Earthrise and 86, but 86 is only if you're willing to spend so much money, and because he's only just getting into Transformers, he's not quite willing to pay that much. So that's why I was like, well, then Earthrise is your next your next best option.
Well, if he's happy, we're happy.
And then now he's wanting to get a Soundwave, and he wants to get a Hot Rod, and like he's just going down the financial rabbit hole that is Transformers.
What have you done to this poor boy?
Also, wait, the financial route, sir. We're broke. What financial route?
I said financial rabbit hole. It's a downward hole.
I heard route, so I was like, what are you talking about?
But yeah. But yeah, he's waiting to see what because I was telling him what Megatron would you like to buy, he wants to see what 86 Megatron looks like first. Because I told him about the upcoming 86 one, and he was like, ooh. So he's either going to wait for 86 Megatron to come out, or as soon as it gets revealed, he'll decide if he wants to get that or if he wants to get like one of the War for Cybertron ones.
I still say Siege is a perfectly good contender.
Yeah, Siege is still a perfectly good contender. He just wants to see what 86 looks like because he's one of those people where it's like he wants to buy a Transformer and then like that's the only one. He's not going to buy another one again like later.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would hope so. Like, I'm currently in that bit where I'm looking at my shelves, and I can tell you right now, there's going to be like quite a few that if a better version comes out, I'm swapping them out.
Yeah, like again, when he told me what's a good hot rod, I told him, well, because you're not trying to spend too much, then you want to buy the Studio Series 86 Voyager.
Yeah. Studio Series, like the Studio Series 86 Voyager hot rod, in my opinion, that's the best one. We don't need another one. I'm perfectly content with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless they decide to actually put out that toy accurate one that never made it to freaking Velocitron.
Yeah, I don't
For
think
anyone who missed out on him, you might as well put out the toy color one. Or hell, what if they put out one that's the hot pink and orange hot rod from the movie? But yeah.
It's the Beanie Bean.
Yeah, we'll see if he ends up getting in. I think he even said he's considering getting like a Grimlock too. The only problem is that one's kind of a harder one to suggest because even Grimlock is
the fact
expensive.
that Grimlock is actually getting a reissue.
Yep.
So he'll be able to get a Grimlock soon.
Yeah, because I told him about the G2 one for Power of the Primes. He was like, I'm not into the blue. It's like, so he agreed with me. He thinks the blue doesn't look bad in the robot mode, but he thinks the blue looks bad in the T-Rex mode.
Well, that's because all the blue gets broken up in the robot mode. But in the T-Rex mode, it all comes together. So,
It's
yeah.
like just blue. Except for his crotch.
You mean his glorious golden dino diaper.
Grimlock killed enough Sharkticons that he got the golden diaper skin.
God.
I had the original MG Wing Zero EW that I built several years ago since I started watching Gundam 00. I'm considering doing a Master Grade 00 Quanta, Full Saber, Gundam Dynamez, and Gundam Virtue. So I'm going to tell you right now, Quanta Full Saber, be careful.
Yeah.
Because while articulation-wise and build-wise, perfectly fine, nothing wrong with it necessarily, I'm pretty sure you're getting that Full Saber for the sake of it holding the swords, right? Yeah, that uses the old Master Grade hands that only have that very shallow peg in the palm. So if you're having that thing constantly holding those weapons, you are going to have a bitch of a time keeping that thing fully armed and dangerous. That said, Dynamez, you're in for a wild ride. And unfortunately, I have no experience with Virtue. Let me know how it is, because I think it looks absolutely fucking awesome. Rick.
You bastard.
He posted a meme in our group chat that, oh my.
And speaking of Prime, mainline Prime was a sword.
Don't maybe come over there and steal that.
Which Prime is that?
The mainline Rise of the Beast.
Oh yeah. I just heard mainline. I don't know. I didn't see which one it was. So, yeah, mainline, the mainline deluxe.
Normally, I give it to the Studio Series.
But in this regard, yeah, now fuck the Studio Series. People be swearing up and down that that's one of the greatest toys that we've ever had. I'm sorry, y'all overhyped that thing.
The Studio Series Voyager?
Congratulations, the fans of that toy made me dislike it.
The Studio Series Voyager?
From
How does
Rising
86 Prime look with it?
Oh, okay. I thought because for a second I thought you were going to say 86 Prime, and I was like, heresy.
He was on my list. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Anyway.
Rise of the Beasts Optimus, I have a more positive view on because I was actually able to find one, like normally in store for retail price.
I just kept my pre-order. I wasted no time.
So, I just feel like I had a more positive view on the figure because it's like I was able to find it so easy, and so I was able to forgive some of its flaws where, like, if you had to go to a lot of effort to get it, and then it's like, oh, the flaws stand out a lot more because it's like I went to all that effort for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of effort on finding things in stores and such.
Bees.
Please, dear buddy, old pal. Do you realize what you did?
I assumed you were making a sound financial decision.
Which Spider-Man is that?
I mean, hey, at least I've managed to get him into Marvel Legends.
Oh, is that the Spider-Man where it's the Tom Holland suit at the end of the movie?
No, it's an animated series.
Oh, it's the animated series one.
I am setting a very, very, very dead set rule. I'm only going in on 90s Spider-Man. That's it. If it is not 90s Spider-Man, I do not want it.
Which on that note, I used to collect just like almost anything Marvel Legends, unless it was like a completely obscure character I knew nothing about and didn't care for, etc.
Oh, so you mean every single Marvel Legends wave that comes out now?
I used to collect those particular Marvel Legends figures, but I would sell off the figures or even build figures that I didn't want or care for. But then it got to the point where, like, I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on what exactly changed, but I sold off a good portion of my Marvel Legends collection. Some comics figures, but almost all but a handful of my MCU Marvel Legends figures. Excuse me. So now I just strictly collect whatever movie figures that I want. It's mostly Spider-Man and some Deadpool or X-Men ones. But it's also primarily comic Spider-Man, his Rogues Gallery, a few others. X-Men, definitely. So just very specific characters or teams now.
Real quick question: are any of you guys? I'm assuming you guys have stated you are familiar with the IDW comics.
To a degree, for
what
me.
you're talking about.
Well, Hasbro is going to be putting out a Marvel Legends ROM, Space Knight.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
And ROM has, in the IDW comics, when IDW had the rights to ROM, they did connect him with the Transformers for a good while.
Was this retconned ever?
Well, I mean, it kind of was retconned when, IDW lost the rights to Transformers in ROM, but, like, they still tied up that storyline. But in the IDW continuity, it was discovered that Rom's suit, his Space Knight armor, the planet that Rom comes from, where his suit is from, was a long lost Cybertronian colony world, and the suits they made were reverse engineered Cybertronian technology.
Rob, stop me. Robuko, stop me!
The Rom Space Knight in the IDW continuity is wearing a Cybertronian armor.
Is a kitty.
He's a kitty.
She has decided to be here.
So, I'm not saying don't go for the full saber. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna go with that, try not to display it with the swords too much. But if you absolutely need one where it's like an absolutely perfect Setsuna suit within the do you want it to specifically be a master grade, or will any grade do? Because if any grade will do, I got plenty of options for you. Oh my god. Pets. This is the part of the show where the pets take over.
Yeah.
I don't have an animal, but I do have a bounty hunter acting as a server.
It's kind of funny. She's actually in, like, looking like
The server.
what?
Yeah. You can blame BC for that one.
What are you looking at, hon? Huh? What are you looking at?
I think I broke him.
So for the sake of context, we were. I had him over around about the time Bees' box finally got to me, and I was messing about with the Brave Commander Prime, and when Rabuko finally got over here, he finally got to mess around with the lockdown that he's been waiting on for so long, and he bought the upgrade kits for it. Well, the hook on his copy was super loose.
So is mine.
Like, to the point where he could twiddle it very easily or just fold it down. Me and my infinite wisdom, I just looked at that and immediately went. So basically, as soon as the evolutions world comes to an end, he's going to stop bounty hunting, and he is going to become the world's greatest waiter. It'll be part of me coming through.
Also, by the way, if you want to read the comic issue where Rom is discovered to be a Cybertronian colony and all that, I'm gonna post it in our group chat. I actually have the downloaded PDF of the comic.
Wow.
All right, so I have an arm done. Oh. And the upper torso.
And kind of a joke.
Did you say kind of a Chad?
I said chest, but sure.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Anyway, yeah.
Whoa.
Timber.
Yeah, I gotta replace this thing.
I think the next AMK Pro kit I'm gonna get. I'm sorry, I gotta go with Mirage.
I have the
Grade will do. Okay, so real quick, guys. So if you want something specifically for Setsuna FCA, my recommendation, if you want a Fauna full saber, or just Aquana in general, go for the high grade. The high grade is extremely underrated, but it is bar none the best version of that mobile suit you will ever find. Because it, due to the fact that you have to swap a specific blade out to do its giant sword mode, the fact that you have to swap the blade out basically guarantees that blade is going to be super solid no matter what, and its joints are strong enough to where it will actually hold it in the giant sword mode. So that would be my recommendation for that. For Gundam 00 as a whole, that one, I really don't have a good recommendation for that one. But if we're talking Exia, the PG. If we're specifically talking Exia, the one I will immediately recommend is the PG. Ink is back. Why did you leave us? How dare you? You missed me yelling at bees.
Yelling at me for a financial decision that he made, that he had me under the impression he was of sound mind when he asked me to.
I'm messing with you. It's all good. I'm just messing with you.
I know. I'm playing along.
Wait. He said he was making food. What did you make?
What were you making? Yeah, what were you making? No,
Yeah,
everybody point at him. Everybody point at him.
Yeah, what are you?
What were you making, Ink?
Whoever it is.
What are you
making?
What were you making, Ink? This is an interrogation.
Poke.
Remember, it's rude to point.
Hot dogs with a ridiculous amount of shredded cheese. I can't afford nor have any space for PG. Well, unfortunately, you're out of luck for Exia. I mean, okay, that's kind of a lie. You could go for the no grade 1/100 when it comes to any of those mobile suits I mentioned, but that would ultimately be a decision you would have to make on your own terms. That being said, I think now is going to be a good time to go ahead and call it. So, I mean, unless anybody else has anything they want to bring up or talk about real quick.
So I will be taking yet another leave of absence from Scrapyard because of my work schedule, and I'll be back like sometime mid to late the next month. My work schedule is weird.
You mean to tell me you're going to be denying me your ass whooping for February?
The Discord link will be in the comment section after the live stream is done, because we've tried to send a Discord link before into the live chat before. It doesn't work. So,
You know what I find? One thing I just want to kind of put out there is kind of like a, what do you call it? Whatever, like a service announcement or whatever. I hate that there's been a huge misconception with a lot of people around on the internet that people think that Hasbro is not, like, because Hasbro pulled out from making movies, there's no longer going to be any Transformers movies anymore.
yeah.
Because that's not the case, because the way how everyone's been wording it, that's what everyone keeps thinking is the reality. Because, especially since we got Transformers 1 and everyone loves Transformers 1 and all that, but like that's not the case. We are still getting Transformers movies. It's just Hasbro is just not one of the main people funding the movie. They're just making the toys for the movies. So like again, I'm just trying to I bring it up whenever I'm able to get some I try to bring it up as much as possible with anyone who's not aware, but like there are still going to be Transformers movies. There will be a sequel to Transformers 1. Paramount is just going to have to find someone to partner with that is not Hasbro.
So I'm amazed that he's not talking about that one specific reveal for Marvel Legends that is coming out in February.
Oh yeah, that too. Another cool Marvel Legends reveal was revealed this morning. It was for a brand new 90s style Spider-Man that comes with like a gazillion accessories. It's part of a new subline they're trying where it's called like the Maximum series or whatever it's called. Essentially, it's a new line of Marvel Legends where it's like they have completely unhindered articulation, detail, accessories, and just like just all kinds of whatever thrown in with them. And again, it's for like people who are willing to spend more money for figures and able to get more accessories with just one figure rather than buying out multiple figures that come with separate accessories spread out among all of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? The new Spider-Man has like a bunch of new articulation out the wazoo. It has all kinds of accessories like swappable heads and like web effect parts, and even brand new web effect parts that are like never been tried before. And like they're even including like a stand and like alternate hands, heads, and just the pre-orders for it go up in February. And sadly it will be a online only kind of item. You can only order them online from somewhere. So hopefully we'll be able to beat scalpers and all that stuff on online websites for it. Because that same issue happened with Hasbro when they released a vintage carded. It was the very first time they gave Marvel Legends Spider-Man the toe articulation and such, and people went absolutely nuts for that very first release they did. And like when it came out, it might as well have not have, because the release of it was so bad that like it was almost like the figure never even existed. The only reason you knew it was available was because listings started showing up on eBay for like $100 for it. So, but like no one ever had a chance to find one in store. A lot of people never had a chance to get one online. And so I just really hope this new Maximum Spider-Man doesn't have the same issue.
Well, I think they're making a really good move here, because if the information I read is true, he's going to be an Amazon exclusive.
Which Bricks? What Spider-Man figure were you talking about with the toe articulation?
The original vintage carded one.
Vintage carded. Oh, the on the animated series style packaging.
Yeah, the one that wasn't cell shaded.
Okay, I do have that figure. I have that figure.
Original release. You know what I'm talking about?
I have that figure. I was lucky enough to have found one, and I think there's like more than one at the time. And had I known that was going to be valuable, I would have grabbed a second one.
It was probably the most desirable Marvel Legends of the entire year that it came out, which I think was 2019, 2020.
Yeah, I can 100% understand why, because it's 90s fucking Spider-Man.
And it was 2020, because I remember it was in the midst of the pandemic, and I remember going to Walmart, finding that and a couple other retro carded animated series style packaging Spider-Man Marvel Legends figures, and the Lightning Collection Power Morpher, which also came out in 2020.
Yeah, that Lightning Collection.
I remember going to that Walmart wearing a Red Ranger helmet to protect myself from the Rona.
But yeah, it's like this new Maximum Spider-Man or whatever the frick, from the new series they're doing. They said they are planning on this being a new consistent line of Marvel Legends. So like we could even see Iron Man get this treatment. We could see flipping Captain America get this treatment. Maybe even repaint the Spider-Man into a symbiote suit Spider-Man. Like possibilities are all over the place.
So, if that's the case, you may need to wait for some revives. Sorry, go on.
No, you're good. But yeah.
So, if this line is going to continue the way you're saying, then I could end up filling some slots for characters that may not already have a figure in the 90s line that I am after, because let's face it, if this line isn't going to address characters I care about, I'm not going to bother.
Because one of the things they mentioned in one of the things that the Hasbro team, the Marvel Legends team, mentioned in their live stream today was that they basically made these figures with stop motion people in mind, like stop motion and toy photography people in mind.
Which, as one can clearly tell, I am neither. So,
well, but that should tell you enough about the articulation and the amount of accessories, because they want to make them as posable and as possible that like stop motion animators could make anything they could possibly want with that amount of detail.
fair.
Because to give an example of like just some of the swappable parts, Spider-Man has 3 separate heads. He has a standard head where it's just his regular wide open eyes, but then he comes with another head where he has like different emotive eyes, like where one of them's kind of squinting and one's kind of open a little more. And then he also has an unmasked Peter Parker head, and then he's got a bunch of alternate hands, including removable web shooters. He has hands with removable web shooters on it, and then he's also got wall crawling hands, web thwipping hands. Even has web thwipping hands that have webs already coming out of them, which they have actually never done before.
That is awesome.
New web parts, stands for the web parts. They even come with a spider sense.
So his
put on his head.
So his accessory count is probably one of the most loaded Spider-Man figures we're probably ever going to get.
Actually, I'd say it's probably one of the most loaded Marvel Legends, like just even out of the entire Marvel Legends toy line. I'd say he's one of the most loaded accessories to go to a singular figure.
And not counting like a HasLab, right?
Yeah, not counting like a HasLab. Like I'm talking like a mass retail kind of item, that's going to be on Amazon and such. Like essentially he has like some of the most accessories that like any Marvel Legends has probably ever had.
Okay. So is that it? We good? We got nothing else we want to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and announce what the next topic is going to be. And it's just going to be an easy one next week, everybody.
Q&A, woo!
Q&A.
So yeah, everybody within the comment section, have your questions ready, and we will answer them to the best of our abilities, but also a round of questions will be asked amongst ourselves, either directly at one specific member or at the entire group. So yeah, that's what we're going to do next week, mainly because I really don't have it in me to try and think of an entirely new dedicated topic. But the next scrap
Remember, this is going to be on the essay.
So the next scrap battle is Wolverine versus Scorpion.
We're talking like Mortal Kombat Scorpion, right?
Yes, Mortal Kombat Scorpion.
That is one I don't care who wins. I want to see bloodshed.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what you're gonna get.
Yay!
All right. So next topic is a Q&A, and the next scrap battle is Wolverine versus Scorpion. With all of this said, does anybody have anything that they wish to do before Savage takes off?
I can't think of anything.
Tut, 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 tut.
Not referring to. Savage,
What?
go.
Well, considering you already said the thing, I can't really do the full bit, but on the next episode of Scrapyard 124 Q&A with the Scorpion Wolverine battle, will Briximus stop being so butthurt over the battle of this one because, you know, cosmic entities and all that? Will the jobless spider ever get a job so he can pay for rent? Will Rubo ever gain 2 inches so he can be less than average height?
Jesus Christ.
And will BC ever finally get the chance to hit Briximus with a brick?
A Lego
Find
brick,
out next-
right?
Find out next time on 124 Q&A. Yeah.
This has been BC.
Sounds right.
Robuco.
Flaming Bees.
Optimus Prime.
We'll catch y'all next week.
Peace!